I'll tell you one thing, that
Hey, when my girls start to trip and hate before I skate, I call Sirius XM 98. Yeah, Thursdays at Foxxhole 7 to 9 to talk to ZoWilliams before I lose my mind. Yeah, I need advice on my relationship, cause I'm about to start breaking. I can't take it no more. I got to holler at Zo, the relationship pro. Before I pack up and go, I got my foot out the door, and then for leaving. But first, let me holler at Zo, the voice of reason. I got my foot out the door, and then for leaving. But first, let me holler at Zo, the voice of reason.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zometheus Rising, the voice of reason, back in the building. Another Thursday. Sirius XM 98 is the dial. It is the Foxxhole 98. We're back. Voice of reason back in the building. You know where I'm broadcasting live from. I'm in the VIP section in the nice plush red leather seats. And I'm not even going to tell you where I am. I'm going to let the general manager of operations of said wonderful establishment tell us where we are. Terrell, where are we, man?
We at 5581 West Manchester Boulevard.
And what is the name of this thing called, man?
It's called the J Spot.
The J Spot. Man, tell them how cold it is down here. The women, the comedy, the ambience. Talk to us about this whole environment right now, man.
Oh, well, on Thursday nights we have ladies' night after this show right here. And, I mean, it'd be the ladies in here with the short dresses.
I really made a mistake leaving early last week because I saw the tsunami wave of femininity rolling into the building. What was it? Some type of stiletto night or something you guys had going on?
What we call a stiletto strut.
Wow.
Where the women get on the stage and, you know, show their legs.
Is this the general manager of the J Spot or Marvin Gaye? Because he's got the Marvin Gaye voice going right now.
Hey, Zo.
Yes, Black.
Let me tell you something. The chef, TC, is off the chain. When you come to L.A., you got to come to the J Spot just for the food, even if you don't like the comedy.
Guy Black, can they... Oh, damn. Guy Black.
I'm not joking.
Guy Black. Can the people come down here right now?
Yeah, you can come down if you're in the L.A. area. Come on down. It's free during the radio broadcast. After that, you got to pay.
5581 West Manchester Boulevard, J-Spot.
There it is. Listen, I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and when I come back, I'm going to give you your topic, questions, and everything. And, of course, I got another special guest rolling through, so you know how it happens. ZoWilliams, voice of reason, Foxxhole Radio. If you want to catch up with me right now, I need you to get to your cell phones. Text ZO space 90210. That's how you get in contact with me. ZO space 90210. Get at me. I'll be back at 2.2 commercials.
Yep.
You know, that's an incredible record by an incredible artist, Common. Man, it just breaks down relationships, man, and how they're difficult and how you fight through. And man, here's my topic. I did it last year sometime, and I wanted to bring it back, man, because I'm seeing so many developments, you know, raising a teenager and a preteen, and man, it's a cold situation, man. Who is more promiscuous, the middle school girl or the middle school boy? Because what I'm now starting to see, and I have to get with my daughter because, you know, I'm on my daughter like a cheap suit from the local swap meet. I am all up around the nape of her neck. But I have to stay on her because ratchetness is cool. Being a ratchet is cool in today's society. And how do we raise young girls to and let me just say this, to recontextualize, you know, how they view femininity, how they view womanhood. That's what my topic is tonight. Who's more promiscuous? The young middle school boy or the young middle school girl? I seem to think, and you can disagree with me, 855-369-9898, the phone lines will be open. I seem to think that it is the girl, because girls do develop quicker than boys, faster than boys, and boys usually have to catch up to the girls sexual maturity and emotional maturity, right? I think women, little girls, are more promiscuous early on than boys. Somebody disagree? Because we have this misnotion or this misnomer that girls are not as sexual as boys, and we know girls are even probably more sexual than boys. And boys are we're always deemed as the dogs and out there, the hound dog sniffing and scratching, and we are. Yes, we are. But are women just as guilty? 855-FOX-98. That's the number to dial. 855-FOX-9898. Somebody call me right now and share your information with me. If you're a parent raising a young teenage girl, how does she hide her promiscuity from you? I asked this question last year. Is oral sex for middle schoolers and teenagers and high schoolers the new goodnight kiss? They doing stuff that we would never have thought of doing. 855-369-9898. That's the number to dial. Hey, I'm going to tell you one more time. If you want to catch up with ZoWilliams, you got to text me. ZO space 90210. You're going to get an electronic card from me that has my website, my Twitter page, my LinkedIn page, my Facebook page, even video of my new morning radio show. What? This new morning radio show is cold-blooded because there's video to this, too. You get to see us in there cutting up. It's called the Zo What Morning Show. I do it once a week, Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, on rmconair.com. But forget all of the websites. Text me, ZO space 90210. The classic television show, 90210. That's ZO space 90210. Back to my topic. Callers, call, talk to me, share. Is oral sex the new goodnight kiss? Do preteens and teenagers experience sexual harassment on campus the same way most adults experience it in the workplace? 855-369-9898. Men, talk to me. Who taught you sex? Did you teach your girl sex, or did your girl show you the ropes? Wow, that's a cold question, huh? And if most girls are teaching the boys how to have sex, are girls more in tune with their sexuality early on than boys are? Again, are they more promiscuous early on? Somebody call me right now, 855-369-9898. One more thing. Son, he'll be 16 in December. Second year, varsity, sophomore. Kid is out. They're all over him. They own him like stank on Madagascar, boo-boo. They all over him. It's lemur crap all over the place, and they're all over him. Flies on stag. My question is, he's still a virgin. Does that speak? Is he the anomaly? A boy about to be 16-year-old, a virgin, is he the anomaly? Is he the exception to the rule? Or are boys his age normally not virgins? Somebody call me right now at 855-369-9898. And what do you think about the dress code? Because I remember when I was growing up, the girls in the school uniforms was always the freakiest. The little Catholic school girls, they was always the one that was hopping the gate. They were always the one to leave the back gate open. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Somebody call me right now at 855-369-9898. This is caller participation. If you're not participating with me, we're not doing anything. I'm just talking head. I need your opinions. I need your beliefs. Somebody call me right now and share how you're raising this kid. And how many times who do you bust more often? Do you find yourself busting your daughter in a lie or your son in a lie about their interactions with the opposite sex? 855-369-9898. Black, do we got callers over there? I know we do. We're going to give two more questions. And listen, I found this out. This was some cold situation right here on this research tip. The number one cause of oral cancer, it's not smoking, it's not tobacco, it's not heavy drinking, it's oral sex. And when I say oral sex, the thing is, man, these kids, man, they out there That's why we got to teach safe sex. But these kids, they're out there and they're wild. And because of HPV, throat cancer, mouth cancer, number one cause of oral cancer, man, is HPV via oral sex. Is oral sex the new goodnight kiss for these teenagers? I believe that it is, because there's no holds barred anymore. I hate to play the race card, but remember when black girls used to say, I don't do that. I'm not a white girl. And talking about fellatio. Do you guys remember that? I remember that. Shanti from Baltimore. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. That's saying my age, though. But
it's quite all right.
I think it's the girls that are more promiscuous than the boys right now, because I have a 15-year-old son. I have 5 boys, and my oldest is 15, and the girls are like flocking to him like flies. He plays football. And
I'm listening. Come on. He plays football.
Oh. Okay. Hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, and I just see a lot of the little teenage girls, they growing up so fast nowadays, and they watching these videos, not listening to their parents and watching the videos and thinking everything in the video is cool, and it's not. But their parents are not teaching them either.
Well, let me ask you this, Shanti. Do you think the videos are teaching the girls how to be ratchets and how to give it up easy? Because, again, music, that's where we learn our social game rules. Now, back in the day, it was Marvin Gaye. He said, "Let's get it on." That taught us how to mac down a girl, how to speak to her. But this new music is saying, "Listen, bitch, get down to the floor and clap your butt cheeks and do it."
Pretty much,
right?
What they said. Yeah, you absolutely right. And that's not how I was raised. I mean, I wasn't raised in the church or nothing like that, but I was also raised to respect myself and respect my body.
Wow. Well, you know what? I want to thank you. You brought Baltimore into the business. Thanks for the call. We're about to take a quick break. When I come back, more questions, more callers, and my special guest just arrived. We'll be back at 2.2. Is oral sex the new goodnight kiss for young teenage boys and girls? We about to go crazy up in this piece. I'll be back at 2.2. Holla. So Miki is rising, the voice of reason, Foxxhole 98, Sirius XM 98. You know what we do every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is what we do. Controversial topics. I'm going to callers. 855-369-9898. Is oral sex the new goodnight kiss for teenagers? True or false? 36.9% of 14-year-olds have already had sex more than 1 out of 3 is what the statistic is. Is that true or false? I don't know. I don't know who compiled the stat, but they're saying close to 40% of 14-year-olds have already done it. True or false? Sexual promiscuity can damage self-esteem and the emotional health of a developing adolescent. I would say that that's true, simply because relationships are very, very difficult for grown-ups, let alone somebody whose hormones is still trying to settle down after that hormonal explosion after puberty kicks in. Can the HPV vaccine promote a sense of immunity? That could lead to increased promiscuity. I don't know. 855-369-9898. Let me do it this way. If girls are more emotionally mature than boys are as adolescents, would it stand to reason that some of these teenage girls are approaching their male teachers? How about that? I got a homeboy who's a damn substitute, and they be hollering at him tough. Teenage girls be getting at teachers. Somebody call me right now, 855-369-9898. Who do we have on the line? I know the phone lines are hot right now. Kaya, where you from? Kaya? Hello? Turn your radio down, honey. Turn your radio down. Turn it down a tad.
Go to Renee from North Carolina.
Okay, we're going to come back to you, Kaya. We're going to Renee from NC, North Carolina. Talk to me, Renee.
Yes, my name is Renee, and I'm from North Carolina. And the things that you're saying on the radio show are correct. I do believe that girls are faster than boys. I don't have any children, but I do have nieces and nephews, and they talk to me. And I'm very active in their lives. And girls do approach men instead of the men approaching them. I'm from the old school. I was born in the 60s. And we were taught to let the man approach you. And a lot of this is coming from kids having kids. I truly believe that kids are having kids. They're not being trained. Their mother's out there trying to party with them instead of being a mother, being a friend, and teaching them the ropes. And then from there, they teach their kids. And as far as the girls are concerned, I believe that they're faster.
Wow. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. She said something that was very interesting. I'm urging all female listeners out there, if you've ever dated a teacher, if you've ever approached a teacher that you were attracted to and you knew it was wrong while you were in high school, do you have that experience? Do you know someone who does? Somebody call me right now at 855-369-9898. Can we, before I go to my next caller, do we have a caller online? Before I go to the next caller, I got to bring somebody in. See, let me just say, I love bringing folk in, that could speak to certain things, that can, educate people from the ground up. We're on the ground in the trenches trying to help these kids. I have another resident professional in the building, and we seem to form a formidable tag team when we get together. It's none other than Corey Holcomb back in the building for the Foxxhole's Voice of Reason. Corey, can you speak to me on the epidemic that befalls us? Is oral sex the new goodnight kiss for ratchet teenage girls? I don't know. Somebody call me right now, 855-369-9898. Corey's in the building. Talk to me, Corey.
Oral sex is an urge that is carried out by people who have strong sexual desires forming in them. So, like, a lot of attractive people get eat out and they dick sucked all the time. But there's some people out there that basically had to beg a motherfucker to go down there and do that to them because of how they put it together. So I just want you to know oral sex will happen in most sexual adventures if you are someone that they are feeling like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you can always get that kiss goodnight. That's what I'm trying to say.
You gonna get that kiss.
You're supposed to marry the girl that makes a habit of putting your penis in her throat. That is the one that really wants you. That is the one who really desires you. Girls that don't suck your dick don't really want you, and they feel like they can do better than you.
Wow, is that true?
That is 100%. If you are with a woman that don't suck your dick on a regular basis, that means she ain't really feeling you. Because when a girl is feeling you, she swallow you too.
Wow. 855-369-9898. Somebody, if you agree or disagree with Lord Corey, please call in and let me know. We got Chris from the ATL on. Talk to me, Chris, man. What is going on with this situation?
Hello?
What's happening, man? Yeah, you here, brother.
Yeah, I totally agree with that's Corey Holcomb, right?
Yeah, that's Corey, yeah.
Yeah, man, that was hilarious. I do agree with him on that point. But I wanted to say that a couple of points. As a father of 5 girls, I got a girl 20, 17, 12, 10, and 9. My 17-year-old had sex at 13. And gladly she told her mom about it, so we was able to handle that.
Wow.
But the other point is, I wasn't a school teacher, but I was a recruiter here in Atlanta for 4.5 years. And I would tell you, bro, I used to be in the schools, and the girls get at you. The big thing in the schools around here is that these girls are giving head now in the presence as a substitute for having regular sex because they think they're saving themselves. Which is
hey, Chris,
totally...
you know what, Chris? You know what's that's deep. That's deep. Hey, thanks for the call. You just touched on something very, very heavy. Remember Oprah Winfrey had Steve Harvey on her show when his book first came out. You see, and he brought out something. I want you to speak to this, Corey. Women have these little gray areas that they operate in, right? Where they justify all their bad behavior because it's a gray area. Like the girl on Oprah's show was like, well, I'm saving myself for my husband. But Steve asked her, well, are you doing anything? You just abstinent? You celibate? You're not doing anything? Well, you know, I got this guy. He gives me oral sex, but nothing else. Well, why don't you get with that guy? Well, that's not the kind of guy I want. But I'm using him to pleasure me to a certain extent. Well, is that a whore? Isn't that what you were talking about last week?
That's a spitty pussy whore. Her pussy smell like bubble gum. That somebody threw it. But anyway, no, what I'm saying is, look, I put this on Twitter today. I said, if you have had more than 3 abortions, you should not be able to put domestic violence charges on nobody.
Oh, God. Why not?
Because inside of your womb should be the safest home for a child, but your womb, in fact, is the most dangerous place for a child.
Wow.
And girls don't even realize that. You are at the core a whore. And because you don't understand what being a whore is, or you ignore what a whore is, or whatever it may be, we are bringing up a nation of children that are brought up by bitches that don't know right from wrong.
Wow. So do you think, look at it this way, Corey. Do you think teaching sex education to kids is good or bad?
I think it's good, but they teach it in school in a very phony way.
They
don't give the information needed to excel in society. They give you information to know what you did wrong in society, in my opinion. They don't help you and guide you with sex education courses to make it where you make right decisions with your body. Because bottom line, you know, if you out here fucking, you part of the game. So don't try to step outside of the game when you in church and all that shit.
But for somebody who don't understand that, what do you mean you're a part of the game? Please go deeper because people may not know.
The game is the Matrix. All this shit count. Yeah. Everything goes. There is no rules. It's not necessarily a righteous thing. The game ain't necessarily righteous because everything count.
Wow.
You can do something bad or you can do something good. It's all part of the game.
Right.
That's what motherfuckers say. I chalk it up to the game.
Right.
So when you out here fucking or getting your pussy sucked or anything by somebody who is not your husband, you part of the game.
Wow.
And you need to accept that and stop acting like, oh, I'm not part of the game. It's just I do this every once in a while.
Yes,
You're part of the game.
That little gray area.
Right.
Yeah. 855-369-9898. I know we got callers.
Oprah pussy sucking ass part of the game.
Say what?
Oprah pussy sucking ass part of the game.
How is she part of the game, Corey?
Now, you know that bitch eating pussy out here talking about she won't that man. That man can do way better than you. Oprah is just that paper hard to pass up.
Corey, when you were in high school, did the girls pursue you or did you have to pursue them? Were the girls really aggressive about giving it up or was it a challenge for you to get it?
I was able to fuck a lot of girls because I was on the basketball team and most girls, when they go to choose men to fuck, they try to pick somebody who has some type of status one way or another. And because I was on the basketball team, that gave me status.
Right. And that's what's happening with my son right now. He's a sophomore, but second-year varsity player, and it's crazy. Mario from Missouri, show us what you want to talk about, man.
Oh, my goodness. I could talk for hours. You didn't put too many questions out there, though, and I got to tell my man Corey Holcomb, man, I've been watching you ever since you put that crunch on Lamar Odom at the All-Star Comedy Jam. I thought that was the funniest thing. You having your drink, an old girly dude running across the stage, and you're like, is that Lamar? Yeah, you remember that. But, hey, you guys put a lot. Get all cuts aside. You know, Corey's only there because it's ladies' night. He's going to go put some more. He needs some more material. But so on the real, I've got 4 daughters, man. I'm 49 years old. I got 4 daughters. I got a 28-year-old, a 26-year-old, a 22-year-old, a 7-year-old. And, yeah, girls have it bad nowadays because I really think myself it's easier for a girl to become gay than it is most of these guys out here. Okay, so the girls got to watch out for the tricks that the guys play And then I got to turn around and watch out for the tricks that the girls play. Because my 22-year-old, she was a college basketball player, and I just knew something was going on. But yeah, lo and behold, it did happen.
What do you mean you knew something was going on? What do you mean? Like you knew she was gay, right?
Well, no, you don't see any boyfriends really hanging around, and every time she talked about some little boy, it was only that's my bro, that's my friend. They live over in Arizona, so it wasn't like they were hanging with me in the hood. I was back in Los Angeles, but there's just a lot going on, and you'll find a lot of girls, man, a lot of girls out there in the WNBA and in the college basketball. They're tearing each other up.
Hey, you know what, man? I think you just brought up a great point. It's not only the boys the promiscuous girls are pursuing. It's other girls pursuing other girls.
Right. It's other girls too. But
that was a good point.
I have some younger cousins that were going to Crenshaw High out there in L.A. They off the hook over there. So they had a party for one of the girls who's kind of outgoing. And you're right, man. Huh?
Hey, man, let me just say, man, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for that information. It was very insightful, man. I appreciate it. Let me ask again. Are poorer people more promiscuous than people who are well-to-do?
Well, when you can go to the mall, you won't fuck.
Well, but, that's
if you ain't got no mall money, ain't nothing else to do but fuck.
Mall money.
People who can go to the mall, go to museums, and buy stupid ass pictures for a lot of money. That's some shit to intrigue your mind.
Wow.
But if you ain't got no money to do nothing, fucking is the most satisfying thing you can do.
Well, let me take it even deeper before we go to break. Krishnamurti is one of my favorite philosophers, and what Corey just said is directly in tune with one of the things he said. He said the one thing the rich man and the poor man have in common is that self-forgetful moment that is produced by an orgasm. That's the one thing they got in common. Wow, listen, we got to take a cold break, man, but we'll be back in 2.2. Corey Holcomb, ZoWilliams, we on the Voice of Reason once again, killing it. Text me, ZO. 90210, ZO to 90210, and we at the J Spot. If you're in the vicinity, come on down. I'd love to talk to you. Corey would too. Let's have a good time. It's ladies' night up in here. Let's have a good time. I'll see you in a minute. ZoWilliams, the Voice of Reason, back in the building. I need you to get to your texts, your cell phones right now. ZO space 90210. ZO space 90210. You gotta connect with me. I got books coming out. I got new T-shirts coming out. I got a book coming out February 2013. It's incredible. It's off the chain. New website going up. This is the way you connect with me through all social media. ZO space 90210. Get to your cell phones right now. Call to action. Tonight's topic, a doozy. Is oral sex the new goodnight kiss? Why are female students who do not perform oral sex discarded as prude or uptight? Squares, even. Listen, I got a 12-year-old. She'll be 13 in December. How do I raise this young girl to be a prude, to be viewed as uptight? I don't want her to be a ratchet. And here's a heavy question right here.
Keep her away from the in crowd.
The in crowd.
The in crowd is normally the hoes.
The more popular, the more hoish.
That's right.
855-369-9898. Do you disagree with Lord Corey's decree? Somebody call us right now and let us know. I got a question for you.
If you're out with a woman, a whole bunch of guys know, that's not a good thing. If a whole bunch of people know the kids in school, that's not necessarily a good thing.
What about an overly secretive girl?
Overly secretive girl, those are dangerous.
Why?
That means they're ashamed of what they feel to do.
Or what they've done.
Yeah, both.
Oh, wow.
Both.
Wow. 855-369-9898.
Like Darlene.
You gonna do that to Darlene?
No, we were on the show and we had a topic and we were talking about if you with a dude and he supposed to be your man and you see some other dude you fuck, should you let your other dude know? Okay, I fucked him. She was like, absolutely not.
Wow. Oh, I remember that show. I was there.
Yeah, it was like a lot of people. I think she would have to identify a lot of people. No, I'm just fucking.
Wow.
That was a joke, D.
No, it's too late now. It's out there. It's out there. Let me ask you this question, Corey. Do you think, because relationships are very difficult for grown-ups, But for teenagers, it's got to be 10 times, 100 times more difficult. Do you think that sexuality increases the potentiality for domestic violence? And what's your view on domestic violence in these types of relationships? 855-369-9898. Callers, come on in. Go, Corey.
I'm saying if you're a promiscuous woman, you open the door for domestic violence because you don't know who you fucking. You fuck with a lot of different people, and the more people you fuck, that's the more tainted your womb is, the more strangers you have invited into your home. And when I say home, I don't just mean where you live. I mean your womb is your home.
Wow.
That's where your kids live. That's their first 9 months of existence in a womb, and you have let foreign dicks shoot up on top of your kid's head because they facing that way, right? A lot of kids have receded hairlines because their mom is real promiscuous. The hair never had a chance to grow right there.
Even the girls
and boys.
Right. Hot sizzling sperm landed on there before the follicles developed into what they could be.
Is this okay?
If your child is born with a lot of hair on his head, that means your womb is full of excess hair.
So do you think domestic violence is something that women perpetuate against themselves? You were talking to me about this.
Of course.
And how do they do that?
Well, they're rarely victims, in my opinion. Most of the times, they're in a situation with somebody who have shown themselves to be off the chain, motherfucker that'll beat their ass. And, like I was talking about earlier, the ultimate domestic violence is abortion. That is the ultimate domestic violence. A child should...
That's what you were saying during the break, yeah.
There's not a place safer on this planet for a child than in the mom's womb, but as all the signs are up around the Inglewood area, abortion is the #1 cause of death. Is that what that sign says?
Let me ask you this. That it does say that.
So how safe are our kids when they get snatched out of the womb more than any other thing? That's the most unsafest place. The womb of these women who fit the statistics where they can put these signs up that are factual saying abortions is the #1 killer.
Let me ask you this though. Who seeks to have an abortion more? Is it an impoverished kid or an impoverished girl or a girl that's well-to-do? Or do you think the gold digger has more abortions than any of them?
Well, a female who's a gold digger, who's a failure at being a gold digger, has a lot of abortions because when they get pregnant by the type of man who's getting a check that is substantial, they keep those babies.
Yes.
So failed gold diggers
have a bunch
of abortions because they wind up getting pregnant by the dude who don't have a check yet.
Wow, that's having sex with potential.
Right.
Potential. Wow,
Yeah.
We got a caller. Orlando, Mississippi, you're in the building.
This is Orlando from Mississippi. I
what's
think
happening,
that the women are more promiscuous, and it's because that if they most of them raised by single mothers that don't have the means to do everything on her own, so she has to grow that girl up real fast so she can help her out. So when you grow that girl up real fast, by 12, 13 years old, she feels like she can run a household. And basically, it's a lot come with being an adult. And sex is one of the things that comes with being an adult. So she need a break from the rest of them kids. So it's the older guys, they not going after the guys. It's the older guys that picks that out and knows that young girl is kind of looking up to him and knows that she's pretty much going to accept him when he comes to her. It's not the guys their age. It's the older guys that start them out. And then once they start them out and they get that feeling, they go on their own from there.
Hey, and that's a good point. I really appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Beth from ATL, you're in the building. Talk to me.
Talk to us about aduts.
Aduts.
Hey, Corey.
When you in the dut.
What up, Shouty?
I agree with what he was saying earlier about women giving men oral sex. We give it to the ones that we love. If we love you, you get it every night. All day, all night, whatever. Most of the time, that's how that works. And, these little young girls, they fast. They real fast. And they feel like they're virgins as long as they haven't had vaginal penetration. But they done had it everywhere else. Every other hole that they could get a dick in, they have taken it. It's wild.
Wow.
And I'm talking about real young, like 13, 14. I mean, some of these little girls and did shit that I'm like, damn, you comfortable with that? Yeah. And they feel like they're still virgin because they haven't had vaginal sex. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, you know what? I appreciate that call. That was heavy. My question is, how do we turn it around? Don't. Let me ask you this, Corey. Don't you feel like men pressure women into being hypersexual? We pressure them into being hypersexual through media, through movies. I mean, Lil Wayne. I mean, every time he hook up with a girl, she pregnant, you know, because he can afford it. He can do that kind of stuff, and they know what to expect when they get with a Lil Wayne. You understand what I'm saying? Aren't we setting the tone for women, or are women setting the tone for us?
Well, the tone is set by the gatekeepers.
Go deeper.
Everything you watch on television and everything that you can basically view in this society, for the most part, has been okay to view.
Right.
So the way we're molded in this society is a recipe for disaster. Mm-hmm. So the powers that be are in control. And when you see people going to the left as they are, you know what I mean? Like little girls. Mm-hmm. Let's be for real. The average little girl, inner city, 12 years old, that has some type of sexual experience, in my opinion.
Wow.
As soon as they're able to get away from their mother's eye on a regular basis and they're out there, people are coming at them, especially if they're developed. Because they start to develop like around
early.
About 12, 13, and all this shit.
Grown woman body.
I'm just saying, the only way you can stop it is if we are out of this system. Because this system is going to guide that type of behavior. It's going to assist the lost woman. Mm-hmm. And all women who stand
go deeper into it's going to assist the lost woman.
You can basically have your man uprooted out of his apartment if you call the police on him. Mm-hmm. You can say a man did something to you, and before he is charged with it,
there's a hustle, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to prove anything. They want the drama. They want the cases. All of this stuff. They want you to watch Maury Povich as your education.
Right.
The lost female has more outlets for information than a female who is trying to find some guidance that's worth listening to.
That's heavy. Who do we have on the line? Lewis from Iowa. You're in the building. Talk to me.
Hey, man, love the show. Corey,
thank you, brother.
He speaks the truth because a female only gonna give hard sex to who she likes. She may not be giving it to one dude, but you can bet she's giving it to another one because she liked that one more than the other. And so when I was in high school, I knew a couple female classmates that was going with our coaches, going with some of the other male teachers and stuff like that.
Right. That's a good point. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Although many young girls are victimized by the pressure to have sex, are young men pressured by the expectation to have it too? Do we not focus on this problem enough? A lot of times, like with my son, he not getting the pressure because he's excelling in sports, right? So he got a homeboy who came into the high school with him that was more touted than he was. But as soon as his homeboy get in, he's 6'3", ninth grader. As soon as he get in, he hook up with some young girl, start having sex, his whole game fall off. So my son sees that and sees this kid's work ethic and is like, oh, this dude is on JV now. My son made varsity. So my son saw that as, okay, that's how you fall off.
Gotta get the fuck away from these hoes.
Yeah. So
did you see that thing where they had on ESPN Benji?
Mm-hmm. Oh, they telling us we got a break. Let's come back to that point.
Okay.
We'll be back in 2.2. Holla at me. Zoe's got to go. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, Zometheus Rising, the voice of reason, back in the building with my special guest and good friend, Corey Holcomb. this is what we do. We try to drop mad jewels and try to explain to people, you know, the dynamics of life and how to have a better one, man. And if you're raising some kids, you're going to have to get some of this good game. Are absentee fathers the number one cause for high sexual activity among young girls? 855-369-9898. Tonight's topic is oral sex, the new goodnight kiss. Are young females more promiscuous than young boys? Are girls dictating this movement? Talk to me about this kid, Ben Wilson.
Ben Wilson is he was one of Chicago's bright lights. Mm-hmm. He was the number one player as a senior. His senior class, mm-hmm. He was ranked number one.
Wow.
And
in basketball?
Yeah, in basketball.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. And he was shot and killed in front of a little store next to the high school that he went to, Simeon High School. Mm-hmm. And as I watched the story that was on ESPN, mm-hmm. One thing that stood out to me, he was following some bitch out the door.
Wow.
Him and his girlfriend was arguing. Wow. And, well, not necessarily arguing. He was trying to get her attention, and she was ignoring him. And mm-hmm. I noticed she didn't want to have anything to do with the Ben Wilson story.
Uh-huh.
They were able to say her name or whatever, but she wasn't a participant as far as to go with talking or anything. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. This is just my opinion. I was like, wow, that's a shame that he was following her out to school, and that happened to be where something happened to him following her.
Wow.
I think we should definitely teach our boys priorities as far as it go with females. If you are in high school, you don't have time to be chasing no female nowhere.
Right.
There's too many things that are far more important than what she wants and what she talking about when you're in high school.
But don't we ultimately wind up doing that in general?
Yeah, because we're men, and I'm saying all heterosexual men mm-hmm. have a strong urge
to do that.
Yeah, to be attentive to attend to their girl.
Right.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And when the girl act like something wrong, you be like, "What's wrong with all this shit?" I'm just saying, I think we as men owe it to our sons to let them know priority.
Right.
Because it's not for me to say this happened because of that.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying a lot of times men get in trouble chasing up behind some ass.
Yeah. It's true. I can attest to that. 855-369-9898. If you agree with Corey Holcomb, call me right now and tell me what you think.
Hey, so absentee fathers are in large numbers. Mm-hmm. And that's something that needs to be dissected. Why are there so many absentee fathers?
Are there absentee fathers because they don't want to be dads? Are they absentee fathers because they can't get along with the woman? Should they weather getting along with the woman just to be able to help the boy? How easy is that? Is it easier said than done to weather a mama who just wants to play the kid as a pawn? Is it easy to just stay in that, or is it better to pull yourself back and say, well, you got to catch up with me, man, because she's doing everything in her power to keep you away?
I think it's normal for you to eventually give up because you're a man, this a woman, she's playing with you, you can go to jail.
And all of this,
people don't realize how quick it is. There are a lot of people out here who don't have intentions.
Go ahead.
Who don't have intentions to kill.
Right.
But there are things like kids, when kids are involved and you feel like somebody is playing with you about your kids,
right.
People can get killed like that.
Right.
So a lot of guys step back. They be like, hey, this is a fight I can't win because she has the system on her side.
But the way it's set up, the way the system is set up is he's a punk, he quit, he stopped, and it's his fault.
Of course.
Because he could have always found a way. You got to find a way where there is no way.
Of course, that's what's going to be said because that is a way to justify what they're going to do to your kids anyway.
That's like giving them a blank check. That's like saying, because you're supposed to fight through hell and high water, I'm going to do everything in my power to keep you away from your son.
The same people that wouldn't allow women to vote are the same people allowing women to keep that bullshit up with the kids because they know we win.
You know what? There's something in the court system that the courts don't like to use this particular term, but it's out there. It's a syndrome. It's called parental alienation syndrome. And it happens 90% from mother to father. And what that is the courts are now looking into it. Look it up if you don't believe me. Parental alienation syndrome, PASS. What's happening is women are alienating the children from the biological father, not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. So now courts are looking at that and saying this is a type of abuse. Because if you say this kid or say this kid's father ain't no good in that kid's presence, you're actually attacking that child. Now, there are legal people looking at this now. But my question is, are women going to, or are their feet going to be put to the fire legally?
Well, I'll put it like this. If what women do, and now there's a word that you can attach to it, parental alienation syndrome, if this is something that is addressed seriously, bitches won't be able to run the same game they've been able to run for such a long time.
Well, go deeper.
Bitches will have nowhere to go. If they can't make it seem like he wrong and I'm right, they're going to have to face what they did wrong. And I know for a fact, bitches have a problem facing with what they did wrong.
Are you telling me that society has raised women to be non-accountable? 855-369-9898. Unaccountable, not responsible. It's the man's job. He's supposed to save me. I'm the damsel in every situation. Is that what you're telling me?
When you have a house with children of multiple fathers, exactly that's what you did. You're not accountable for your actions.
Wow.
And now with this parental alienation syndrome, this is a way that you will have to be. They're going to bring it up. They're going to put it in your
Corey,
face.
what about a woman who's accomplished, a woman with multiple high-end degrees, PhDs and all of this, but has 3 children by 3 different men? Is she the same type of person you just described? Someone that hustled the system?
Her children will bring negative influence into society. Her children will only make this world tougher for anybody they come in contact with, especially if they're little girls.
We've got Darnell from California. Talk to me, Darnell. You're in the building.
How you doing, guys?
What's up, man? Talk to me, man.
Hey, I'm an 18-year-old, and I just graduated high school, and I'm going to tell you about the earlier topic. Girls are way more aggressive than dudes, at least from where I'm from. They the way they dress is very provocative, and they flirting with you all the time. Because I play football, so naturally girls are attracted to athletes.
What school did you go to?
I went to Rodriguez High School in Fairfield, California.
And go ahead.
Okay, and I just noticed that. I go to parties and stuff. Girls, the way they dance and stuff is very sexual and prerogative. And, it usually does lead up to, something happening at the end of the night. And I feel like with the media, rap stars and, twerking and shaking your booty and all that stuff, I just feel like, the media and the rap game and all that is promoting that. And that's part of black culture. And black girls are accepting that. And it's carrying on in our society. And that's why I feel like women and young boys are more sexually active. And I'm personally experiencing it.
Darnell, check this out. Corey Holcomb wants to ask you a question, man. Go ahead, Corey.
You being an 18-year-old young man, I want to ask you, from what you have seen of 18-year-old women that are your classmates that go to the school you go to, what is your honest opinion of the average girl that you have come in contact with at your school that is your age? Do you think highly of her or do you think negatively of her? I'm talking about on the average, if you can understand what I'm saying.
On the average, girls, if they really if we know for a fact you sexually active like that, and we're more attracted, I would say I would go after you, because girls that we see that are very sexually active, we consider them, hoes or whatever that you don't want to touch. Right. But if a girl she's still with only a couple dudes, and we feel like we could get some, and that she's clean, then we would do it. But
How do you know if she's clean or not? This is good. This is good. How do you know if she's clean or not?
Well,
like, what is your method of proving that she's clean?
How do you judge? By her outfit?
Well,
you know, her purse match her shoes, so I guess she's clean.
I mean, I guess guys talk, and I mean, we know 50% about the sexual stories and stuff are lies.
Right.
But,
Word
you
of
know,
mouth
it's all
dossier
about-
out on the streets.
Yeah, it's all about reputation. If we feel like, you know, if I hear about, oh, she's nice in the bed, but she doesn't get around too much, I might holler at her. If I feel like, if I know she hit 20 of my friends, I'm not going to touch her.
Wow.
It's all about, you know, that's how I-
young man. Hey, young man,
Give
let
him
me
some
say this,
advice.
man.
Give
Listen,
him
we
some
got to
advice.
give you some straight game. Go ahead, Corey. Then I'm gonna follow up. Corey, he about to give you some advice, Darnell, and then I'm gonna follow up with some of my own.
I just want to say to you, being an 18-year-old young man, I don't quickly. Do you have any kids?
No, sir.
Okay, good. What you need to know, every time that you have unprotected sex with a woman, you open the door for you to be in a situation where you can have to deal with that woman for a long time if she gets pregnant. So be wise, be smart, and be strong as you are out there in this world, 18 years old. And, you know, it's a blessing you still ain't got that problem of having a baby by a girl you know you're not going to be around later in life. So be careful with what you do out there, man.
Right. And then my advice to you is this. Relationship is the one classroom that you never graduate from. So take your time before you enroll into that class.
Right.
Don't rush to enroll. You feel me? Because
Yeah, I
listen,
feel you.
let me give you this too, man. Time is the only currency you can never get back. MC Hammer lost millions, but he's still a millionaire. You can always find a way to get the money back, but you can never get your time back. So imagine if you get your time tied up with somebody you hate. And now she's raising a kid of yours.
That's real.
You feel me? So that's the only time. Your time is the only kind of money you can't get back, man. So be mindful on where you spend your time, man.
That's a jewel.
I appreciate you, man, for the call, man. Thank you, young man. Celeste from South Carolina, you're in the building. Voice of Reason, Foxxhole Radio. Corey Holcomb and Zoe is in here killing it right now. Celeste, let's go.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I like to press on. I got twins, 18-year-old, both just entered university this semester, and there's a couple. One is a boy and one is a girl. A couple of stuff about parenting that a lot of people over here. I'm originally from Jamaica, so how we do things are a little bit different. A lot of our African Americans, you know, we overall we tend to not be at the school too much, and it's not very interactive in the child's life. You know, you got to go to that soccer game. You have to know what's going on. You know, you have to look into books. You have to talk about it. I mean, my kids know I'm not their friend. I'm not their friend. I'm their mother. But, you know, I also sit and is able to touch on the topics that they would love to talk about. You know, and you just have to be a part of that child's life. For my son, you know, unlike with Corey, it's not bitches and holes and that type of it's just degrading. I didn't really like that. He seems to be a very intelligent guy and stuff like that. I know this is a rated R show and everything like that, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with talking about the itches on our hand, but that's not an African American thing. It's not bitches and it's not holes. I try my best with my son and my two kids. I don't miss anything. I don't miss the soccer game, a debate. You have to be interactive. And at the end of the day, they're both out of my house. My son is also a sports person, and you're right about your son. My son encountered the same thing, or another guy who, you know, went with his female and started having sex. His game fell off. My son is also on a soccer scholarship. He plays and stuff like that. After a while, when you've instilled that into them and you're a part of that child's life, don't worry about it. They will come to you, even if it's about sex. Because I can.
You know what, Celeste.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this really quickly. Corey Holcomb would like to ask you a question. Corey, go ahead.
I would like to ask you, do you believe that bitches and hoes exist? Or is that imaginary?
Pardon? Can you say that again?
I want to ask you, do you believe that bitches and hoes exist, or do you think that's an imaginary word?
Okay, I'll tell you what I think a bitch is. A bitch is a female dog, and I don't think it should be used to describe any form of woman. Are there promiscuous women? Yes, there are. I just don't think those degrading words is almost like calling a black person a nigger. I think it's very degrading and very disrespectful. If it exists, yes, it's in the women or African American women because it's used mostly in our circle. So does it?
And you know what?
She said
Celeste?
it's used mostly in our circle.
Right. And you know what, Celeste? Celeste has a good point. She has a good point. But let's keep it in context. Celeste, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Do women, and I know you know a lot of women, do a lot of women you know call men dogs?
Yes, they do.
All right. A bitch is just a female dog. It's the female counterpart. So if you're going to equate the word bitch to nigga, then you'd also have to equate the opposite, dog, to nigga. So when women stop calling men dogs, is that fair? I'm just saying, is that a fair compromise?
I think women want you to sugarcoat everything for them. Not all women. Some women like when you talk to them for real. It's what attracts them to you when you talk to them for real. But some women, when you say a word like bitch, hoe, they let the emotions of the word take over the conversation. Nothing else exists.
And then they miss the point.
Right. They don't care about the point.
Right.
You just said the word bitch, and they don't like that.
I don't
like want you to say what I don't want you to say.
Right. Celeste, you brought up some great points. I appreciate the call. Who do we got next, Guy Black? We've got C from Philly. C, let me see what you're talking about. Holla.
Hello. Hi, Corey. How you doing?
Hey, babe, I like your voice.
Hold on. See, this is my show. This is Zoe's show. You got to say hi to Zoe, too. What you doing?
I know.
Hold on.
How you
This
doing?
ain't the 5150.
I can tell when she's ready to say something.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, C.
I wholeheartedly agree with the lady that just left the line about calling women bitches and hoes. You say that we emotionalize those words. But I remember when those words became prevalent in music, and I remember Dorothy Wright, and I remember Tipper Gore trying to tell the Senate about advisories for parents about the language, that it would desensitize our children. They were before their time. Subsequently now, girls are accepting being called bitches and hoes. Matter of fact, they're starting to exemplify being bitches and hoes. They're twerking and jerking and dressing like bitches and hoes. They have personified a bitch and a hoe.
But you know what?
You
know what? You have a great point. But again, we must keep it in context and must remember, when was the last time you was in a club and saw a bunch of upscale women dancing to some of the most ratchet music ever that called them bitches and hoes, and then they sang along with it? You can't live the contradiction. My thing is, black women like to live the contradiction. They like to say, don't call me a bitch or a hoe, but then be in the club saying, nigga, don't act like a bitch. Y'all sing right with them. So until you live what you want, you can't get what you're asking for. Go, Corey Holcomb.
I agree. I'm agreeing with you. I mean, Chris Rock made a point of it about women dancing in clubs to music that should be offensive. We should leave the floor in mass.
Right. But you don't. You buy the records.
But no, it's so easy to point out something a brother do, which is why they talking about the music. But I have been going to movies ever since I was a kid, and the movies depict them as bitches and hoes, but they have no problem when Hollywood do it, but they have a problem when one of the rappers do it.
Right.
It's like they pick who can call them a bitch or hoe.
Wow.
I agree. No, I am not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying that we need to start teaching to our children that calling them dogs or hoes, calling them women bitches and hoes, it's wrong not because of what we're saying, the emotion, but the thing is the action that follows it. It's the action because in order to not be a whore means to have self-respect.
But see, let me just say this. I want my sisters to stand up to Al Pacino and Quentin Tarantino and all these other white folk who get to call you bitches.
No, they don't look at them as doing something wrong when they say it. They look at us as doing something wrong when we say it, and I'm not saying that it's right. What I am saying is this, though.
Okay, we got to take a quick break. Caller, hang on the line. We're going to come back to you. And we're going to come back to Corey.
Yeah, because I got something to tell her.
Yes, please stay on the line. We'll be back at 2.2. C from Philly is in the building. It's gotten sparked. I'll be back at 2.2. Is oral sex the new goodnight kiss for these young promiscuous boys and girls? That's what our topic is tonight, and it has spiraled into many other topics, like fatherlessness.
You know,
it has, child support. How do we teach these girls not ratchet music? Hip hop's influence, the music game's influence on teaching these girls how to be ratchets. Even the term bitch. Don't call me no bitch.
Right.
That is worse than being called a nigger.
Right.
Oh, Jesus. But you a dog.
Right.
Hey, isn't a bitch a female dog? Right. It sounds like the counterpart.
You wonder, is it ignorance? Are you really, or is it that you're really so much of a hypocrite that you're going to go about it like that?
Well, when you're not responsible, hypocrisy is easy. 855-369-9898. Somebody text ZO to 90210. Do it right now. I'm not getting enough responses. This is how you stay in contact with me. This is how you're going to find out about my new book. I'm going to reveal a chapter really soon. Chapter 1 of my new book, The Relationship Dismount, How to Let Go of Anything and Anybody. So you got to text me, ZO to 90210. It's just that simple. ZO space 90210. Now, we had a caller. Let's get the caller back on. C from Philly. Of course, I have to remind you guys that we are live at the J-Spot Comedy Club right here in Westchester, California. It's very beautiful, right outside of Inglewood, right down the street from the airport, LAX. We're having a good time. If you're in the vicinity, come see us at the J-Spot. It's on fire. Corey Holcomb and C from Philly, we're going at it. Let's continue this fight. Corey.
I don't know if we were necessarily going at it. I just believe that the sister, just like the Jamaican sister who called before, are very much into this, oh, don't call me bitch, don't call me hoe, it's offensive, but never addressing the point that we are trying to make. And the point is, people portray bitches and hoes in movies as well as rap music, and people want you to stop saying bitch. This is how I really feel, Zo.
Mm-hmm. Go deep.
If a Caucasian person says the word bitch or hoe, it's not looked at the same way as if a black man, especially a black rapper, says the word bitch and hoe. And my opinion of that is envy.
What if it's a Caucasian boss who signs your check and he says, bitch, get your ass back in there and do what I need you to get done?
And you know what? In my opinion, that's too easy, because of course you'll do it because they need the check. But what I'm saying is,
my point is, it's still hypocrisy, right?
The world has taught black women to envy us so much. When we say bitch or hoe, they get mad.
Envy us or hate us?
I don't think it's that simple, Corey.
Come on in, C. Come on in, C from Philly. Come on in.
Black women in society, we're already portrayed as promiscuous, as hypersexual, as being the quintessential bitches and hoes. So when our men call us bitches and hoes, it hurts more. It's not that it doesn't hurt when other people
Does it hurt because it's the truth?
Yes.
Does it hurt because it's the truth? I'm just saying.
I don't think that's true or not, because I'm not saying that you can't be what is described as a bitch or a whore. Of course you can. But I'm saying that when you call us that, it hurts more, because we are looking for a certain level of understanding from our men. And it feels like we're being even more alienated.
Well, let me say this. See, can I say this? Can I say this? See, can I say this?
Yes.
In order to seek understanding from our partner, we must first understand ourselves and be willing to accept ourselves for who and what we are. Now, if you want the black man as a representative of the black woman, if you want the black man to understand you, you must first seek to try to understand him. But it doesn't feel like you guys do it. It doesn't seem like you guys go out on a limb to understand us.
That's what the sister just left the line was saying. We need to take control of the language, the emotion behind it on both parts,
Agreed.
on male and female parts. We need to stop
Agreed.
calling each other names. We need to stop victimizing each other.
Agreed. Agreed. I agree with that.
I'm not calling names. I am using words that have meaning in the dictionary to describe certain women. But
Well, they
a
have a
lot of
meaning
women
in the
speak up. A lot of women speak up to the word bitch or hoe. In fact, it is my opinion, women answer the word bitch or hoe quicker than hello.
Wow. Well, let me do this. C from Philly. Listen to me really quickly. Let me position this to you. Let me pose this. There was an 18-year-old boy who just called in. I don't know if you were listening. He basically said if a girl has been with a whole bunch of guys, we label her a hoe. And we stay away from her, right?
This is an 18-year-old.
This is an 18-year-old boy. So my question to you is,
he ain't seen
what word should we use? Because bitch and hoe is interchangeable for that. That bitch right there is a hoe. That's interchangeable.
No, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to come up with some magical shit that sound good.
But see, that's my point is women, we have to take responsibility of our community as a whole, both men and women. And you're right about this. But what do we do to turn these girls who think being ratchet and promiscuous today, are they not practicing on how to become bitches and hoes by being promiscuous right now?
I think they were brought up to believe that that was the way to get love. You were talking about fatherless homes. Women's self-esteem comes from their father. If your father...
No, it comes from their mothers, too.
No way.
So you have to understand, a mother-father dynamic in a relationship is dyadic. It's not unidirectional, it's bidirectional. So even though the father is not in the home, you still have to take account that the mother is.
It is a father
So
in the
whatever,
home.
so whatever the mother is giving her, that might not be good enough either.
No, in fact, most children are brought up by the mother and the system, and the father is not around. These women are a product of a mother who is basically taking orders from a system.
Wow.
And if somebody goes against the system, which is normally the man, he is put out that house.
Wow. Go deeper, C, from Philly. That's why you're on the show right now. Keep talking, Philly. Let's go.
I disagree. A woman's self-esteem, how she feels about herself, that is shaped by the man in her life, or if there is an absence of a man in her life, there is a void. And there she is. She's on the floor.
So you're trying to tell me, sister, I want to hear this. You're trying to tell me, maybe you can help me clarify. Are you trying to tell me that a woman who has not grown her inner child up, a woman who has not dealt with her inner hurt, you're trying to tell me that hurt doesn't mold and influence the child that is in her environment?
You ain't ready for that. I already know she ain't got no comeback for that. That's another way of saying I wasn't ready for that. But look, what I'm trying to say is, women talking about the men in their life influence this. Most women in America, if they want to talk about the men in their life, most women have random sex partners that they fuck. They daddy wasn't around because the mama was having random sex partners that she fucked, or her and the daddy didn't work out. The men who do come around are pussy hunters. They're hunting pussy. So his influence is to hunt pussy, and that's why they hate him so much, because they ain't got the discipline or the know-how to get with a man who is about something.
Wow. Let me say this.
They don't have the self-esteem. They don't have the self-respect. They don't believe that they deserve it. They believe the only way to get attention from a man is to show him sexuality, is to give him sex.
And where did they learn that?
Agreeing with you.
That's a great question. That's a great question. Corey said, where did they learn that?
I'm saying that that's not even learned. That's just conditional. If a woman grows up not feeling as though she has anything to contribute, if she feels the only way to get attention from a man is to be sexual or hypersexual,
right?
She's a weak. Later. So
well, let me say this. C, would you agree to this? That both the men, the mother, father, both mother and father have to stop villainizing each other.
Yes.
Do you agree with that? I think at the end of the day, this is the problem overall. We villainize each other.
No, we don't.
You can't, but see, this is what I mean by we have to balance our statements. You can't say that a girl gets her self-esteem from her daddy, because what that now says is mom is not responsible or is not a contributor to the development of this girl's self-esteem. When in fact,
I'm saying that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that how a woman sees herself in terms of her relationships with men, it is dependent on her first contact with men. Basically,
the first man she's ever loved. That's Iyanla Van Zandt. Men teach daughters boundaries.
Exactly.
We teach them boundaries. But at the end of the day, that does not take the mama's responsibility out of the play. The mother teaches the girl how to be a woman. And if the mama is promiscuous, if the mama is ratchet, if the mama is the girl's friend and not her mentor, now we got a problem. Now we got to move on. I got to get another caller. You were great, C. I appreciate it.
And I'm just saying, as far as it go with all that, this is the bottom line. Women, and I'm not saying bitches and hoes. I say women.
Right.
Even though I want to say bitches and hoes.
I know what you want to say.
But women choose men based off everything except what they should be choosing men on. Either they don't know how to get a good man or they don't have it in them to get a good man. Either way, the result shows up in the kids as they grow up and conduct themselves like bitches and hoes.
Right. Women, I say this, don't raise a child through the filter of your disappointment with the father.
You just basically spoke on America.
I'm just saying, just because he let you down, that don't, listen, you can't be a good mama raising kids with resentment toward their father.
And most of the time, it ain't a good mama. That's what everybody want to avoid saying because they don't want to piss women off. It's a wretched bitch.
Wow. Trouble from Georgia. You're about to get into this firestorm. Do you want to do it?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
We are on fire tonight.
Wow. I agree with Corey on what he just said. Most of the time, women that have children, people that have children, are bitches and hoes. Most of them are not good mothers. And if you don't give your children validation at home, when they get out in the streets, they are going to behave like bitches and hoes. If you don't want to be called a hoe, stop sleeping with every man that crossed your path. But if you have validation that starts at home, when he says, oh, you fine, you got a fat ass, you're not going to pay that any attention and you're going to keep on moving.
Wow. Great stuff.
That's real because one day this girl said, this dude, he came up to me, he was real nice. He said I was sexy. I said, he stepped to you foul. And she said, what do you mean he stepped to me foul? He said I was sexy. I was like, this bitch is lost.
Right.
And you know what? A lot of
this bitch don't even get it.
If the mother didn't receive that validation and she doesn't know any better, how can you expect the children to know any better? I don't have any children, but everybody around me does. And I see
I'm just going to say this. Trouble, I'm just going to say this. I said it a moment ago. A hurt heart can't raise a healthy child.
100.
It just
a hurt
can't.
heart can't live a healthy life.
There you go. Hey, I appreciate the call, Trouble. Thanks for reaching out. Jesus, who we got next? This thing is going on.
It's so good to hear. I'm not the only one who think that way. There's females who are strong enough to accept the fact that a lot of damaged women are out there.
But victimhood has hurt their cause.
That's always the case.
Listen, women, I believe this, you might not believe this, Corey, but I believe women are the most powerful human being on planet Earth. But they limit their power by playing the victim role. If a woman takes the stance or takes the positionality of being responsible for the environment they create, man, imagine what they can then create.
And you know what? They're supposed to be taught that by the man, by the village they live in.
Right.
But the man and the village they live in is influenced by the enemy of all things.
Go deeper.
Caucasian people.
Caucasians. Morgan from Chicago, is Corey right?
You're damn real Corey is right. What's going on, Corey? Hey, listen,
what up?
I'm gonna put it like this. You know,
I've heard like a few topics discussed tonight. You know, the first time I heard the word bitch, man, I was a little kid looking at Dynasty. That's the first time I ever heard the word. And from working with white people, they use the word bitch more than, you know, probably more than we do. Like, she's a fucking bitch, man. But, you know, they don't take it as serious. You know, they don't get all up in arms about it like we do. Now, to speak on, you know, this, you know, we were talking, you guys were talking earlier about young people having sex at an early age. You know, I used to work before in Chicago, and I remember it used to just be so fucking wild in the hallway. And one day, one of the teachers said, "Ro, you know what you're looking at?" I said, "What we looking at right now?" He said, "This is what you get when you get two people together that fuck, and there was no love there, and this is what you get." Because, you know, we were talking about absentee fathers. Hey, brother, we working on absentee mamas now. It ain't even just about the men anymore. You know, it was more grandmothers coming up to school on report card day than anybody. You know, when I was a kid, you couldn't pick your fucking grades up by yourself. Your mother or somebody had to be there. Now,
that's great. That's a great point, man. That's a great point. We got to go. Thank you for the call, man. I got to take a quick break. Dude, call us right now at 855-369-9898. I need you to call me right now at 855-369-98. Don't forget to text ZO to 90210. You got to follow us on this one. This is a crazy topic. And when we come back, we're going to go with this. Listen to me now, callers. We're going to go with this when we come back. Where did you have sex in high school? Were you in a classroom? Did you hit somebody under the bleachers? Because it's always going down, but it's going down at a higher, quicker rate now. Where were you? Where was the first time? How old were you when you had sex? I know I had sex in the public library. After you know how you got to pay for your dues with the books and all that?
Right.
We stole the money for that, and then we went into the library, and we got it going. I think I was 13.
Made some sticky books.
Yeah. We'll be back. Please reach out, 855-369-9898. Quick break. Be back in a second. I need you to text me, ZO, to 90210. It's real simple. ZO space 90210. This is how you find out where ZoWilliams. You know, I'm doing a relationship roundtable in Tempe, Arizona, November 2nd and 3rd. I'll be mentoring some children, some foster children, November 3rd, but November 2nd, I'll be doing a grown and sexy relationship roundtable in Tempe, Arizona. You want to find out? You got to text me, ZO to 90210. It's very important. Tonight's topic, it has sprawled into many different topics. The art of raising bastards. It's fatherlessness. It's all over the place.
Which, as we talked about during the break, please, can we get the Jamaican lady to call back, because we want to know if she said she has 3 kids, and I want to know if the kid's dad is around. Does he live there?
I think what Corey is saying is, if you got multiple kids by multiple different dudes, yeah, her name was Celeste. Call us back, Celeste. If you got multiple kids by multiple dudes, what should we call you? Corey, what would you call that, Corey? What would you call that?
I think we should call them what God gonna call them when He meet them.
What is He gonna call them?
Hey, bitch, come here.
Live from the J Spot, the voice of reason is back in the building. 855-369-98. That's what God's gonna call him.
God created the word. Why can't He say it? Are they gonna try to check God and tell Him, God, I ain't no bitch?
Okay, let's see. Mary Magdalene in the Bible was a prostitute because she was with a whole bunch of men.
Right.
Is it better to call them a whore or a prostitute than to call them a bitch? Is there a difference?
Let's call her Mary Magdalene.
We want to call her Mary Magdalene then.
All the Mary Magdalenes of the world.
855-369-9898. I'm going all callers. Who's available? Who wants to talk to this subject? Hit me right now. What do we got?
Make sure you call back, my Jamaican sister, because we want to know your situation. I know you probably won't call back because she don't want us to know her situation.
We got Prentice from Las Vegas. You're in the building. Holler at us.
Hey, what's happening, guys? I just want to say I'm one of them cats. We gonna call a spade a spade. And my ex-wife, she is a bitch. She's all of that, you know. Well, I'm going to keep it real. Listen, I went to Iraq. You know, I went and served my country. While I was gone, you know, I have a lot of money, you know, going into a brother's account. The night I get home from Iraq, how is a $94 meal going to get declined on my card?
Wow.
Because she took your money and ran with it, didn't she, brother?
Exactly. Look. A nigga is...
I already know what he was finna say.
Yeah.
All them brothers who come back from the Army come back to shit that bitches do.
Wow.
Not only that...
I already know, brother. Go ahead.
You know,
She
I
did
was
what? I'm
21
sorry.
years old. The nigga had a house. You know, I paid all the car insurance, car notes, light bill, water bill, internet. I paid that. She never worked. You feel me? So when we went through a divorce, when I told her to get the fuck out, that was it. You know, all of a sudden I'm a bad dad. You feel me?
So let me do this, man. That was a great call, Prentice. I really appreciate it. We got to move quickly. Let me ask this question. Are women more concerned with marrying and dating resources than they are to men that are connected to those resources? 855-369-9898. Pia from NYC, you're in the building.
What's going on, guys?
Hi. Hey.
How you doing? Gentlemen, you have said a lot of things tonight. Yes. A lot of them true. Corey, can we talk for a second?
Of course.
Okay, a lot to address. I'm an actress. I'm nobody's superstar, but I'm a working actress.
Right.
What you were saying about movies and directors and all of this, I'm one of the few, I consider myself in a minority of people who are speaking out against it. Because you know what, you're right. It is the same, if not worse. Quentin Tarantino obviously has issues with race and women. Obviously, clearly. You know, a lot of people don't want to say it.
I just wanted to call him out on that. Because every movie he does, Pulp Fiction, all of it. Bitch, nigga, motherfucker, nigga, bitch.
And I see him walking around in Hollywood. In Hollywood, he's a fat and lonely soul. He really is, because all pussy he get is purchased, and after a while, that starts to make you feel like a piece of shit too.
Wow.
This is the truth.
When are women going to start valuing their vagina as priceless?
Well, this
Why
is
do
what it
women
is.
always put a price on it?
Can I speak, though, as somebody who's, and I call it like it is, I'm nobody's superstar. So if a check is coming, a lot of us are not going to call it out. We're not going to turn down that audition. You know, I'm that person. I mean, I usually, right now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not calling the shots. I'm not at a studio or anything. But I will get on Twitter. I'll say, look at this crazy shit they tried to have me say at an audition today. You know? This is what it is for real. When I get a breakdown, and Corey, you know what a breakdown is, when they say, oh, she's your typical black girl, 4 kids, 5 different baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what's real. And somebody...
Hollywood is what it is. That's why I don't audition.
Pia.
I listen to what you offering me.
Pia, you were awesome. I really appreciate the call. We have to move on, but that was great, and I'm so appreciative. Follow me on Twitter, @ZoWilliams. Let's move. Who do we have next?
Well, I just, wait a minute. Hold on.
It's very important to know that the way the Jamaican sister and C felt is not the way a lot of women feel. A lot of women...
They're in the minority, is what you're saying.
Well, I don't know if they're in the minority. I would say half, if you ask me. It's half and half. A lot of women are starting to recognize wretchedness, you know, by women.
Right.
And they're not in denial, so when they hear bitch and hoe, they aren't as sensitive because it's something that needs to be addressed. It's not kept a secret.
Is it ratchet if your ex-girlfriend steals your identity and gets cable in her house?
It happens all the time.
But is that a ratchet thing to do?
Very ratchet.
Wow. 855-369-9898. Guy Black, who do we have next?
Well, before we do that, I want to mention that don't forget to watch Django coming out Christmas Day.
Yes,
Quentin Tarantino and Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
Trying to get some of that money.
That's going to be a great movie.
All right. David from Atlanta.
David, you're in the building. Let's go.
All right.
David, you're in the building. Let's go, man.
Hello?
Time is premium, David.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm driving to Philly from Atlanta. I just got pulled over by a cop for speeding because I wasn't paying attention.
Wow. Okay.
So what I wanted to say was this, is that I think what we're talking about with a lot of these issues are that, you know, as far as like gender role norms, we don't, men are taught to be a certain way, women are taught to be a certain way. I don't think it's anything different. I think it's one of those things where women have always this thing with oral sex being the next version of kissing has always been going on, but I think they're just coming to the front much more often that women are doing this. I talk to a lot of high school students, and another dynamic that we haven't really touched upon here that happens in the United States but also happens across the country or in other countries as well is how women and actually young girls actually try to negotiate safer sex by thinking that oral sex is going to prevent them from getting pregnant or HIV.
Yes.
They'll do the same thing with anal sex as well. So there are women or young girls in other countries and in the United States that will have anal sex to avoid getting pregnant. And I think we have to consider that dynamic of it as well instead of just going into, the pathology of the whole thing or the psychology. I think some of the people aren't ready for that, some of the stuff you've been breaking down this evening, but it's definitely
That's
on
all
point.
right, though. It's got to happen.
Did you know that women who let a man have sex with them in their ass and then they like to suck the man dick after that, those women like spicy food.
Dirty Sanchez. Hey, man, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. We got one more caller. Let's go. Richard from Texas, you're in the building. Talk to me, man.
Hey, we might as well give Steve Coakley out of Chicago some respect and Mr. Bobby Hemmett. They covered the black boule aspect of what we're talking about here, how they socially engineered the black family into basically total destruction. They took what's called a talented tenth. That's the W.E.B. Du Bois group, the black educators, the highest level ones.
And you know what?
Engineers,
Let me say something to you, brother. Let me say something to you, Richard. I don't want to stop your filibuster, but you're bringing up something that's really important. I hate these bougie ass niggas with a passion because sometimes they don't even have resources. They just have education. They may have went to school and got a few degrees, but they live in an apartment down the block from you. But they think they're better than you because they're better educated. Just because you better educated. First off, the worst thing that can happen to a black man is a good European education, because it locks his ass in a matrix. It locks him in a subservient kind of thought process.
He's been validated as better.
Yes. Oh man! But see, you got us going in. You got us going in another direction. Listen, I gotta go. I appreciate the call. We gotta wrap up.
The time ran out.
The time ran out. But man, you don't make me do this show because I will come back and do this. show.
No, you do that show. He brought up a good point. You do that show.
Yeah. Hey, Voice of Reason. This is what we do. Corey, where can they find you, man?
At The Corey Holcomb on Twitter. The Corey Holcomb. Just go to The Corey Holcomb and read my timeline. You're going to laugh.
That's my dude right there. We're going to keep doing it. Hey, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. ZoWilliams, Z-O to 90210. It's just that simple. Z-O space 90210. I need you to get to your phone lines right now. Text me right now, and I'm going to send you something. Text me right now. I'm going to send you something. Z-O space 90210. I appreciate everybody for calling in. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'll be back next week with another barn burner. Deuces.